looking for a program that offers grow an business or manage your personal finances, your search stops right here. Join Mukonki from Inside Partners Africa every Tuesday at 7:20 hours on the Ndalama Insights Business Show, a program that gives you the best and most practical, actionable insights.
Yes, indeed. It's Tuesday, the 17th of September 2024, the time at 7:27. Sincere apologies for starting just a little bit late. Just a bit late. Yeah, we deeply apologize. But we're back with another exciting and insightful episode of Ndalama Insights, which is your weekly guide to personal finance and money management. My name is Lina Zulu, and today we have an exciting show lined up for you. As always, I'm joined by our regular guest, our financial expert from Inside Partners Africa, and this is Mukonkela. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Lina. How are you?
I'm great.
I'm so sorry.
Saka Traffic did a number on you
Can
today.
you imagine? And I woke up so early. I was like, I'll be in the studio in time today, and then things just changed all of a sudden.
And you know, we know our people. So I was like, this is not like Mukonki.
I
Not like
know,
so you've been forgiven.
but I couldn't miss it. I'm like, I have to get there.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right. So today we're talking about something that hits home for a lot of us.
Yes.
Financial journeys, Mukonki.
Mm-hmm.
Expectations versus reality, and why we shouldn't compare our journey to others. I think this is really just like a rule in life.
Yes.
Something that many people are struggling with, especially in today's social media driven world, where we constantly compare ourselves to what we see online and what others are doing. So let's jump into it.
Thank you, Lina. This is very, very important, particularly those of us that are trying to create some money for, so that we can sustain our lives in the future. We like to compare ourselves with how others are performing. And this comparison is really going to affect your financial journey if you're not careful. So you need to manage your expectations. One thing you need to understand is that we've got different personal financial journeys because we are different. Just the way we look, even the way our financial journeys turn out is really different. So you cannot be comparing yourself to others. So you need to embrace your uniqueness and also understand your financial situation, your financial responsibilities, and that your journey is going to be totally different from somebody else's. I normally get to hear people talk about someone who's got, let's say, 2 million. Where would you want to buy bonds? Why don't you buy property? But then you might not be at the level where you've got 2 million yet. But that should not prevent you from starting to make investments. So when you start comparing yourself maybe to somebody who's already ahead of you and start thinking, perhaps maybe this kind of investment is better than the other, and you also need to compare your financial capacity and match it with the investments that you're able to afford. Because what we need to understand is financial management is not a get rich quick plan. It's really about ensuring that you're able to accumulate resources that are able to take care of you. That is what financial management is about. How do you manage your money well so that you can live better? And therefore, comparing yourself with others really creates expectations that are going to affect your journey and might even deter you from achieving your financial goals. Yes.
All right. So let's break it down now. Some of the common expectations people have when they embark on the financial journey. What are some of those expectations and how do they differ from reality?
Thank you, Lena. One common misconception really is that financial success should happen overnight. Because I've heard Mukonki talk about this, I've heard Mukonki talk about that. I should be able to buy a bond today and blow up tomorrow. It actually doesn't work like that in reality. We need to understand that financial building wealth takes time. It's not a linear path. You are going to face hurdles along the way, and you need to expect those. You could have set a financial goal to save, let's say, 5,000 kwacha every month, and then suddenly some financial crisis occurs, which is going to stop you from saving that 5,000 monthly. And you may have to reduce that amount, expected 5,000, maybe to 3 or 2,000, based on what you're facing. So building wealth is not a linear path. You will face obstacles along the way, and that expectation needs to be managed. So you really need to understand the reality of it, so that you're not discouraged. Just expect that. The other one is this one size fits all for success. People think that you can just copy, somebody who's done it before, and you're also going to do it. That's why some of us might have heard of younger people, even older people that suddenly made it. Maybe they made an investment. Maybe they were lucky. They bought a gold mine or a copper mine, and now they are very wealthy. And we also think that we can also do that, and we start trying as much as we can to copy them. There's no one size fits all when it comes to financial success. The way you are going to attain your financial freedom may be entirely different from somebody else's, and you need to be able to recognize this so that you can achieve your the results that you're expecting based on yourself and not on somebody else's success. So there's no one size fits all, Lena. We are really all just different.
Yeah. So we'll try as much as possible not to compare ourselves to others.
Yeah.
It sounds like the key is understanding that patience and flexibility are critical
Yes.
in managing those expectations. Yeah.
Yes, patience and flexibility, definitely. Patience, because it takes time for you to build wealth properly, and also managing expectations. As I've said, there's a lot that can happen. Even as you've created very fantastic financial goals, you could lose your job, emergencies can pop up, maybe your parents or your father or your mother gets ill suddenly, that will require financial resources. So there's quite a lot that happens, so you need to really manage your expectations, but that should not discourage you from still aiming to achieve your overall financial goals, knowing that attaining financial wealth is not a path that is straight. Yeah.
Absolutely. All
Yes.
right, let's now get more into the details of why people shouldn't compare their journeys to others. Let's just delve into it a bit more. Why is it so dangerous, and what impact can comparing yourself to others have on someone's progress?
So the first one, Lena, is the feeling of inadequacy. So because you're comparing yourself to somebody else, you might see others thriving or doing really well. They might have bought a new house or a new car, and you might start to feel like you're really lagging behind. But what you don't see is really the full picture. You don't know what they had done or sacrificed to get to where they are, and what it took for them, even the struggles they went through financially. So this mindset can cause people to make impulsive decisions. For example, someone might want to take on a debt just so that they can, satisfy others' lifestyles or create a perception of a lifestyle that they can't afford. And we've seen so many people struggle in terms of debt, and others have even committed suicide, unfortunately. So this comparing yourself might lead to feelings of inadequacy, and therefore you really need to understand that a financial freedom is not a marathon. It is really it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes time for you to get there. So you know how you can run a 10-kilometer marathon, right? And you can also run a 100 meters sprint. They are very, very different. The speed you run at when you're sprinting is very different from when you're running a marathon. If you start sprinting when you're running a marathon, you lose out of energy, right? You might not even complete the race. And so that is what it is when it comes to financial management.
Brilliant. I think a lot of people can relate to that, that particular example, and that feeling of wanting to keep up with their peers, especially like we mentioned earlier. There's a lot of pressure that comes with social media. You see things being shared all the time. But how can we shift our mindset away from comparison to others, and then focus more on our own personal progress and what matters the most?
So one important thing, Lina, is to acknowledge that you are different, you are unique, and focus on where you are and where you want to go, and create a plan to get you there. Now that is a unique plan. It will not look like mine. Your plan and my plan, Lina, are completely different.
And they have to be.
They have to be.
Because we're different people.
Exactly. So you should not feel like Mukonki is doing better than me, so I need to do what she's doing to I don't know, build wealth or even start feeling envious. It is really just going to deter you from achieving your own uniqueness in terms of even achieving your own financial goals.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that. Stay focused on progress.
Yeah.
Than
So
perfection.
what's important? Let me repeat. Understand where you are. First of all, acknowledge your uniqueness. Understand where you are right now financially, and also understand or determine where you want to go, and then start working on that. Yes. How do you get from where you are to where you want to go?
Excellent.
Yes.
Let's now get to how to manage expectations and stay on one's path.
Mhm.
Let's get practical. How can someone manage their financial expectations and ensure that they stay focused on their own journey without getting distracted by anyone?
Most importantly, Lina, is to set realistic financial goals. As I've said, our financial capacities and muscles are very different. Some of us might be surrounded with people who they are old. In fact, you see, there was a young man when I used to work in Kabwe. There was a young man that came to me and was telling me about this very wealthy man, and this is a man who's in his 20s. So I looked at him and I said, "But that man is almost 50. You cannot be comparing yourself with a 50-year-old man. You've still got almost 30 years to get to where he is. So he's probably there because of time as well." And so one important thing really is to set realistic goals for yourself, which is why it's very important for you not to compare yourself with others, because as I've said, you don't know what it took for them to get where they are. And so when you set realistic goals, you know what you're able to achieve, and no one should discourage you because of how successful they are or even how they seem to be successful. This is your own unique journey. And really, this morning, this is the message I wanted to send out, Lena. Because as I go about engaging with people, I tend to feel others feel discouraged. They feel like, but I'm so behind. How do I catch up to that? What's important is the actions that you're taking. It's the small steps that you're taking. Eventually, at least you're doing something. And that's what's really important. And you're educating yourself, particularly those that are showing up at my training workshops now. You're educating yourself, you're taking steps. That is what's important. You don't know what those people went through to get to where they are. Yeah.
So let's stop comparing ourselves to others. I love what you've said about workshops, and I think there's no time when you can say I've learned enough. Like you keep learning and learning. And learning. So let's get more about the trainings right after this short break. We'll be back with you in just a short while.
You are still listening to the Dalama Insights Business Show, brought to you by Insight Partners Africa. Leave your comment or question on Mukonkela's YouTube channel. The Dalama Insights, turning your challenges into actionable insights.
Yes, indeed. So before we took that breather, Mukonki was talking about workshops and how you need to get, information on tidbits on financial freedom and all that and savings and whatnot. So I know we have an exciting event coming up that's perfect for people who want to deepen their financial knowledge. Please tell us more about it.
So on the 21st of September, it's a Saturday, but it's been designed to be conducted over the weekend so that as many people can come, particularly those that work and cannot come during the week. So this workshop is focusing on investing on the stock market. So I am going to cover everything to do with stock market investing. How do you buy shares on the stock market? How do you evaluate and analyze financial reports of companies that are listed on the LUSE? We've got over 20 companies that are listed on the LUSE, that's Lusaka Securities Exchange, that you can invest in. So for anyone that wants to take control of their financial future and also create realistic expectations in terms of investments, investing in shares could be a good starting point. And investing in shares really depends on how much money you have, and what's important, as I've said, is to get started. So that's the workshop we have this coming Saturday, 21st. It's at Radisson Blu. It is 1,500 kwacha. If you're interested in attending, you can contact me on 0977 44 56 04. Yeah.
44 56
04. Yes.
4456
Yes.
0977.
Yes.
All right. So that sounds like a very fantastic opportunity, especially for somebody out there that might be thinking they're starting late or haven't invested yet. Will there be like practical tips on getting started with smaller amounts of money?
Yes, they will. A common misconception is for you to start investing, all these things that people talk about, you need to have a lot of money. In fact, you don't. You can start with as little as 500, 1,000, up to whatever amount you have saved when it comes to investing in shares. So what's important is for you to have a broker. And I hope that those that are coming to attend this workshop already have brokerage accounts. If not, I'll still show you or guide you how to open a brokerage account. Once you have that brokerage account, it sets you up to start just buying shares on the Lusaka Securities Exchange.
Perfect workshop.
Mm.
Couldn't come at a better time,
Mm.
especially with the economic shifts that we're experiencing right now.
Mhm.
People need to learn how to make their money work for them, and investing in stocks is obviously one of the great ways to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to your closing remarks. It's been a fantastic, eye-opening discussion yet again, and we've learned the importance of managing expectations, focusing on our own progress, our own journey, avoiding comparisons and other things that just might stumble you. So before we wrap it up, Mukonki, what's the one final piece of advice that you'd like to give someone who feels like they're probably lagging behind in their financial journey, or they think their next door neighbor is doing better than them, or that friend in high school is doing much better than them, but they were failing in class and now they feel like, why?
Particularly if they see them on social media,
Exactly.
right? Driving, I don't know. But how come she's doing better now? Well, my final words of encouragement is that financial journeys are different. We are all unique, but that should not prevent you from embracing your uniqueness, assessing where you are, and most importantly, taking action to where you want to be. That is what's important. The tortoise, the story of the tortoise is very comforting. We know what happens with the turtles and the hare, right?
Yeah.
So you might see all those fancy things from your friends online, but you may just be, who was that? It was the turtles that eventually won the race, isn't it?
Because I mean, the other one ran out of steam because they were sprinting and they left.
Concealer, that's it.
Yeah. All right, so that's it from Mukonki and I in the studio. To our dear listeners, don't forget to sign up for the Learn About Stocks and Invest with Confidence workshop.
Yes.
That's happening on Saturday, the 21st of September at Radisson Blu Hotel. This is your chance to take control of your financial future, and we hope to see you there. Mukonki, thanks again for coming.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Lina.
All right, so that's it from my guest and I for today's edition of the Ndalama Insights Radio program. Until next week at the same time, it's goodbye and good morning.